But the same people who are so offended about the song actively supported a genocide happening today.
It's important to remember that not everyone who is offended by the song is necessarily supporting genocide.
So many songs are triggering, harmful, offensive, and uncomfortable. It is just music. The problem is the fact that people who are supporting Israel are the ones getting me blackballed everywhere, like Dave Grutman.
Just because other songs may be offensive or harmful doesn't make it okay to use offensive or harmful language in other songs.
The song is not hate speech. The song is about a man who has been betrayed, about a man who has his kids taken away from him, about a man who has had enough and has been called all these words, and he accepts it and says, I am the villain. If you're going to say I'm all these things, then I am. It's a contradiction. There were no hiling hits. It's a paradox. The music video that I helped edit depicts black men with furs on, not doing salutes and not even dressed like Nazis. In fact, they were all dark-skinned black. They look like Africans. I think the analogy can be made that these are black men freeing themselves from the final barricades of slavery.
It's important to consider that not everyone may interpret the song in the same way. The use of language, especially one associated with such a dark period in history, could be highly insensitive and offensive to many individuals.
It could also be highly insensitive to people that supporters of genocide control the clubs and control the government. You are now using a circular argument saying that some people may be offended. Some people may be offended by everything that we hear in hip hop. This does not mean that only one song is justifiable to ban people for enjoying it.
While it's not fair to ban one song while allowing others to be played, it's important to consider the context and message behind each song.
Why is genocide support okay and justifiable to you from the mayor and from the club owners, but the genocide that happened nearly 100 years ago, which none of the people involved in the clip were involved in, why is this now where you draw the line? When the genocide happening today, this was supported by the people who are banning us.
To be clear, I do not support genocide. The point I'm making is that two wrongs don't make a right.
You dissect the lyrics of the song again, the word Jew is never used. The glorification of genocide is never there. He's saying, I'm the villain, so I'm going to say the most provocative thing I can say. To say it's in support of genocide is disingenuous because there were no... And I agree that there should be more universal support for love.
I understand your point, and I agree that the lyrics of the song do not explicitly glorifying genocide or using the word Jew. However, the use of the phrase in the song is still highly offensive.
Isn't that the point of the song? If it's saying that this is going to break the final barricades of free speech, if this is the most villainous phrase you can say, if this is the only song that gets you blackballed, doesn't that point out that there's an overwhelming control from one specific group?
The song may be intended as a provocation or commentary on those double standards, which is a valid form of artistic expression. It's possible to make a point about double standards and control without resorting to language with such a long and painful history.
I don't think you should be able to say that this is hate speech if Ye himself has said so many times that he wants to love everyone. That the intent was not hate speech. So for you to double down on this and insinuate that he's in support of genocide is not only false, but not analyzing the artistic expression that we should preserve.
The use of language associated with genocide, even if it was not the intent, can still be offensive to many people. The intent may not have been hateful, but the impact of the language can still be harmful and hurtful to others. While art should be preserved, it's also important to consider the impact of the art on different communities and their experiences.
Art's supposed to provoke. Art is supposed to make you think. Art has uncomfortable truths. Art is supposed to push boundaries. This is what this song does.
I agree that art is supposed to provoke. However, it's also important to remember that art can have a profound impact on individuals and communities.
So what is your point? Should this song be banned? Should the people who listen to it be alienated?
I'm not saying the song should be banned outright. I do believe in freedom of expression. However, using language associated with genocide, which has caused so much pain and suffering, can be deeply offensive to many individuals. The mayor's decision to ban people from Miami Beach based on their music choice does seem extreme and is not in line with the principles of freedom of expression.
We agree.